The postage stamp assignment comes with a template. It's an Adobe Illustrator file. It's a template for the postage stamp itself. Now you'll be using this template to place your artwork, your illustrations of your celebrities into this template. You'll be activating a clipping mask that will clip the actual illustration to this inner frame, the size of this inner frame, leaving the outer perforation unobstructed and creating some uniformity in the actual postage stamp itself. I want to show you how this template layer is used and I'm sorry, how this template file is used and how to activate the clipping mask and place your artwork. I will note at this point that it would be a great practice for you once you place your artwork and activate the clipping mask, create a fourth layer here. That fourth layer you'll call type or text, and that's where you'll create and place your type for the required text, the forever denomination, as well as the Iconic American Entertainers postage stamp series. So the Iconic American Entertainers and the forever required text. And as the example, you can also place the signature of your celebrity as well somewhere in the postage stamp itself. So let me show you how this works. Let's go over to the avatar. This would be your finished avatar. This would be your illustration of your celebrity. Okay, and all you're going to do is this. You're just going to select it. You're going to select the avatar and you're going to say Command Copy. You're going to go back to the template. You're going to make sure the artwork layer is selected. Very, very important. If you don't place the artwork on the artwork layer, the clipping mask will not work. So with the artwork layer selected, I'm going to just simply hit Command Paste, and I'm going to paste that artwork into the file. Now what I can do at this point is I can resize this if I need. Now always hold your Shift key down when you're resizing to constrain the original proportions of the file itself. All right, once I've got this set where I think I want it, I'm going to go ahead and with this layer active, the artwork layer, we can see it's active because of the indication box is lit up. I also want to select the clipping mask layer. I need to keep both layers selected though, so what I need to do is shift click while I click this target circle right here to indicate the clipping mask layer. So they're both selected right now. At this point, the clipping mask layer is above the artwork layer, meaning that when I create the clipping mask, it's going to eliminate everything outside the parameters of the clipping mask itself, this frame right here. In order to do so, I go to the Illustrator menu across the top of the screen, select Object, come down to Clipping Mask, Make. Okay, and you can see that's beautiful. Now the illustration is beautifully clipped to the postage stamp. At this point, you can add another layer, text layer, where you add your forever denomination and the required text. I do want to show you a couple of things that you can do at this point. Now note right now, if I try to select the artwork layer, I can't select it. Well, I can select a layer, but I can't select anything on that layer because it is all now resides in the clipping mask layer. If I twirl the clipping mask layer open and twirl that second layer open and twirl the third layer open, this will give me access to everything I need to create further edits within this particular clipping mask. Now, I want to show you a couple of things. You can nudge this up and down. What I want to do here is I just want to click off the artwork, and in order to nudge the artwork inside the clipping mask, I want to click this layer right here. That's the artwork layer itself. I want to click that layer, and I'm going to nudge up, arrow up, I can arrow down, I can arrow left, and I can arrow right. Okay, now note that if I arrow right or if I arrow left, the artwork does not encroach the edge of the clipping mask. It stops, and the clipping mask is holding it there. So you can move your artwork within the clipping mask, up, down, left, or right. Okay, notice the artwork on the top is being cut off. That's because that's the edge of the clipping mask. Note the artwork on the bottom is moving as it appears as though the whole file is moving. It's not. It's just inside the bottom of the clipping mask. Now, when we hit the bottom of the clipping mask, you can see that now, there we are. It keeps moving down, but the clipping mask is holding it in place. So once I get it placed where I want it, I can just go ahead and click off the artwork. Another thing I want to show you is that you can also increase the size of this particular image within the clipping mask by coming to that layer right there. And I'm sorry, this layer right here. Select that, and then you can hold your Shift key down and you can increase the size of that illustration within the clipping mask. Okay, so suppose I want it bigger like that. That's fine. That's great. Click off the artwork. I can go back down to this layer and I can nudge this down again and move it around any way I deem necessary. So once you clip it, you still have complete control of what goes on in the clipping mask itself. Okay, that's how you use the template layer, the template file for the postage stamp, and that's how you set the clipping mask. And again, at this point, right now, I would create a new layer, call this layer type or text, and that's where I would place my text, my forever denomination, my text, and maybe a signature for the celebrity. Okay, and that's how you use the template layer and the clipping mask.